Hey guys, welcome to the Matburn, episode 6, with your host, Joshua Hinger, and sometimes a maybe co-host, assistant, Keenan Cornelius.
Is that going to be the thing forever?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like Hinger, is a thing forever because of you?
Now it is. But a lot of people had some really good points. They were saying hinge, the literal word hinge on a door is exactly the same spelling as your name, just with an R on it, and it's pronounced hinge, which I think is so it's an easy...
person who hinges is a hinger?
No, but I mean, we're just like following...
Last names trace back to like the profession of our old ancestors, you know?
Why do you sound so quiet all the time?
I'm not trying to be quiet. I'm trying to scream into this mic. And
which one are you, number one or number two?
Number one, obviously.
Dude, you're so quiet.
Obviously, I'm number one. Obviously, you're number two.
I don't even understand it. Like, I sound so good, and you sound so quiet.
Like, you're distant?
No.
Doesn't matter. Anyways, guys, welcome to episode 6.
I feel like this mic is just better, and it was like 1/4 the price.
Less than 1/4.
Yeah.
Like 1/8 of the price.
This one's good.
Okay, so our sponsors for this episode of the Matburn podcast are the Marianas Open, the best and baddest tournament in Guam. And as far as I know, the only tournament in Guam.
I'm sure they have a few more, but
okay,
that's maybe the main one. The only one that's transcended the boundaries of the island.
Yeah, they've left the island and returned.
I think they even hold some events in Texas and stuff.
Yeah, and they had one in San Diego. So their event, Marianas Open 2019, is going down August 31st. There will be 2 super fight divisions, 8-man brackets each, one above 180 pounds and one below 180 pounds, and they will fight for money, gladiator style.
You know what it is? It's because your house, when we record at your house, there's so much stuff everywhere, and people and couches and shoe shelves that it absorbs all the sound, and then in here it's like a big...
It's an echo chamber.
It's like an echo chamber, yeah.
So I got to scream into the mic.
No, I can still hear you, but I do hear like a little bit of like an echo.
Okay, cool.
But this is just a one-time thing because...
Yeah, because we keep talking about how we're going to set up a studio at Keenan's new house, but that never seems to happen because I don't think Keenan actually bought a new house.
Yeah,
I think he's just lying to us.
No, I move in next week, and then I'll dedicate a room to
the podcast.
The podcast, yeah.
So anyways, guys, check out the Marianas Open. I think it'll be on Flow Grappling, and maybe Keenan will enter. Maybe Keenis will enter the division and fight his old teammate Keenan Duarch. That would be super interesting.
Would it?
It would.
We've actually competed against each other a few times, but it was like I feel like Keenan didn't really try that hard.
Yeah, he's a different beast now.
Really?
He's like a shark now. He's tasted blood.
Yeah, because
he wants more.
Dude, what a crazy like meteoric rise Keenan had. It like literally last year.
I knew he would be great. I didn't think he'd be this great.
But like, yeah, literally last year he was a brown belt.
He won everything this year.
And then he just like...
Everything. He won it all. Everything.
No, he didn't win Brazilian Nationals. And he didn't win Europeans.
Yeah, but those don't count.
Okay, but you said everything.
I'm just kidding. Okay, guys, our second sponsor for the podcast.
Wait, I want to keep talking about Keenan.
Oh, can we get through the sponsors, please?
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right.
Okay, second is our new sponsor, the World Series of Jujitsu. Another cash prize tournament. This one's going down in San Diego on August 17th. And it's submission only with EBI overtime rules. So you don't have to worry about some referee deciding the fate of the cash prize based on his biased opinions of the grapplers, which may or may not happen in tournaments sometimes. So, San Diego Championship, World Series of Jujitsu. It's going down, I think, at the Arena Combat Sports Gym here in San Diego, home of Samurai Bear Yoshida. And they have divisions for everyone: youth, adult, masters, white, gray, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple, brown, black. And they have several weight classes. So the prize money is based on the number of registrants. $135 to register, and then they have an equation which determines how much money each division will win. So if a lot of people sign up, you're going to win more money. If not a lot of people sign up, you're going to win some money. But some money is better than no money. So get out there, support the World Series of Jiu-Jitsu. Lastly, our last sponsor is Line Tax Service from my man Sam. So he is based out of the Midwest, and he deals with professional athletes, physicians, business owners, standard employees. He works with everybody. He tries to maximize the bottom line for everyone. The bottom line is this is the name of the game, right, Keenan?
What is the bottom line?
The bottom line is how much money you make at the end of the day.
Oh, is that
it's like when you have all
after taxes?
When you have everything, profit.
It feels like I don't make
loss,
any money after
income,
taxes,
expenses, and it all adds up. And then we have the bottom line, and then the number at the bottom is how much money you made, bro. Don't you know?
Not really. I don't, like taxes are something I don't understand fully.
Because you didn't study finance like yours truly.
You should explain it to me sometime because I have no idea.
Line Tax LLC specializes in tax consulting to help increase your bottom line. With an increased bottom line, you can do more of what you love with whom you love. Contact them today for a free initial consultation. Don't be fooled by basic accountants. Let an experienced licensed tax CPA help you with all your income tax needs. Check them out, www.linetax.net, or call them 913-353-4300. Ask for Sam. And he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Support jiu-jitsu businesses. And he said Matburn listeners will receive 50% off their initial service.
50%?
50%.
That is it.
For Matburn listeners. So obviously tell them that you heard about him and his services from the Matburn podcast.
I'm going to go like this.
Okay, now we can talk about Keenan. Actually, I have a really funny story. Can I tell you a funny story?
Wait. I have to say something.
Okay, go.
First. I forgot what I was going to say. You go first.
Bro, did you get that bang in you or not?
Dude, I'm like, let me just tell you what I did this weekend.
Tell me.
So I traveled to North Carolina and I flew out Friday at noon. And while I was traveling, I was flying United.
I hate United.
My flight got diverted from Newark.
Oh, fucking shocker.
To Texas.
That's what United does, bro. Anytime you book a flight, plan on a diversion.
Okay, so listen. So they, like, Newark was like stormy, so they're like, we got to fly into Houston. So we fly into Houston. I'm there for like a 2.5 hour layover. No big deal. I'm just like on my computer, whatever. I get on the next thing. They bumped me to first class because of the thing. And so I'm like a premier member or whatever.
Sweet.
So they bumped me to first class, but the first class seats in some of these older planes are like less comfortable.
Not that cool.
Yeah, they're like less comfortable than the economy seats. And so this guy's chair in front of me is like broken and like falling back into me. And the entire flight, he's like elbowing the non-broken side, like trying to even them out.
This is the guy in front of you.
Yeah.
So
and
you're just watching this happen
it's
right under
like
your nose.
happening in my face. Like his seat is so far back.
The top of his head is brushing the underside of your nose.
Basically. He's like so close. And I'm just like, dude, this sucks. And the chair
is
like
sneezed. I really.
But not only that, so then the chair that I'm sitting in is like so old and broken in that I'm like, it feels like one of those really uncomfortable, like lazy boys that like the padding has like moved to one side. So you're like
it's asymmetrical
tilted and like it's like hurting my back. So not a big deal. Like I've flown in very, if I talk in this in a different direction, it kind of fucks up. I've flown in pretty bad conditions before, but this wasn't so bad. Right. But then as we're about to approach to land in Charlotte, there's a microburst. And I guess this happens a lot on the East Coast. Just like a random 3-hour storm, like because of temperature changes and humidity and stuff.
Like a monsoon.
I don't know.
Just a bad
storm that comes out of nowhere and only lasts a few hours. So like we're right about to land and the storm hits and we have to be diverted again to Greensboro, where we sit on the tarmac 2 hours away in another airport until 2 a.m. And then we finally fly back. I land in Charlotte at like 3:30. And I don't get to my hotel till 4 a.m. By the time I go to sleep, I have to wake up and teach my seminar, which is at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
Never do 10 a.m., dude. Always 11.
I didn't. It was my freaking seminar manager.
Is the official seminar start time on Saturdays.
Dude, so it was just terrible. And I was really sick, and I'm still kind of recovering, which is why I might be more quiet today than usual. My throat's kind of messed up.
It's so funny because 2 weeks ago, I flew to Florida. No, I was going to Toronto, and I got diverted on United, sat on a stupid tarmac somewhere else, killed 2 hours, then flew to the original destination. Actually, it was just the connection. And then I missed, my connection was long gone. So then I spent the night at the Chicago airport. Anyways, long story.
I saw some of your Instagram posts. It looked pretty painful.
Yeah, it was miserable.
Traveling is just very uncomfortable.
It sucks.
like you should do it. If you have to travel a lot for work, you really need to take all the steps to make sure that you're comfortable while traveling so that you just don't mentally break, because it can break you.
You got to spend those extra dollars. Actually, it was you who convinced me that I should spend money on myself. I forgot what you said one time.
It's like an investment in your own mental health. I feel like you can tough it out, obviously, to save money.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
A lot.
But then it's like at a certain point, you're going to subconsciously start avoiding those opportunities because they're so miserable. It's miserable. So you're actually going to lose money in the long run by like putting yourself in positions to not do them because you know how bad it is, the travel experience.
I still remember what you told me the one time.
What did I say?
You said, I've worked too long and too hard to be miserable doing my job, like doing this.
It's so true. Like
20 years in this, and it's like, man, maybe I deserve to be a little comfortable.
Yeah. Because like think of all the time. Well, I don't know if you didn't really experience this, but when I was in my early 20s traveling, I can't talk today.
I never experienced early 20s. Is that what you're saying?
Traveling for competitions, like traveling in my early 20s with no money. It's like, dude, you're basically backpacking. Like you're staying in the shittiest spots. You're flying the cheapest flights possible. You're taking like 3 stops sometimes to get the cheapest flight.
Yep.
So you're like, and then you'll show up to a tournament like the day of sometimes because you can't stay an extra night.
Yep. Can't afford a hotel.
You can't afford a hotel for an extra night. So like the worst one is when I went to Brazil, dude. I literally flew into Brazil from Maryland, landed the morning of the competition, went straight from the airport with my suitcases to Brasileiras. Overnight flight. Yeah. I went straight to the venue with my suitcases, tried to sleep on their concrete bleachers in Brazil with my suitcases. And I'm like just the only gringo there, just like with my suitcases. And you know the feeling of like walking through city streets with a suitcase? It's like, you're just so out of place. Like
everybody's eyeballing
you have a target on your back. Right. Like you're like, this guy does not know what he's doing and he's vulnerable. So like I'm in Brazilian territory, dude, the lone American. I'm a purple belt. And, I ended up winning, dude. I won double gold there under those conditions. And it was just like, I think that's part of the reason I won double gold. Cause I was like, I did not come all this way to lose, to be so miserable, to fucking lose. So I just fought so hard and I submitted almost everyone to that tournament. And then I fought Joao in the finals. But yeah, this trip was pretty uncomfortable. And I think if you have the opportunity to upgrade, take it.
Didn't Jacare have the same experience when he won Worlds? He took like a red-eye flight. He missed a connection.
Jacare Souza?
Yeah, like the Jacare.
Crocodile?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a funny story. And I'm not, maybe it was the time that he beat Hodger, the time that Hodger broke his arm and he won.
Oh, I mean,
might have been that time, might have been a different time.
I don't know anything about this story.
But Angelica Galval always tells me this story about how Jacare had this just crazy flight overnight, didn't sleep, had the hotel lost his reservation, and then he ended up winning Worlds.
It's actually crazy how well your body can perform on just like one day of terrible situation. Like 2 days, like you're probably not going to be able to handle it. But 1 day of no sleep, full travel, feeling like absolute shit, you can still perform it basically 100%.
You ever have those really random...
If you're mentally strong enough.
You ever have those really random sleepless nights where like just for no explainable reason, you just cannot sleep at all?
Dude, welcome to my life for the last month. That's like what I've been dealing with lately.
Just unexplainable. I can explain why you're not sleeping. You're just stressed out.
Yeah, I have so much going on right now.
Unexplainable, like sleepless nights, you know? And then you think to yourself like, man, I'm going to get trashed in training this next morning.
Yeah.
And you go to training, you're like, oh, okay, here it comes. I'm going to get trashed. And then for some reason, you just dominate, right?
Yeah, like your physical well-being doesn't really have that much effect on your ability to push yourself. Right. And like your muscles still work in the same way. Just because you're uncomfortable and grumpy and upset, like your muscles still work and fire.
Maybe that's why we do better.
Your nervous system is still the same. Like nothing changes.
Maybe you're just too tired to get anxious. And then like, you have a good excuse if you lose and you just go out there and wing it and fight as hard as you can. And then it just works out.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, so now when I do international flights, I fly United because they have really cheap upgrades at the airport. So sometimes I can upgrade to business class for like $200.
It's like the last minute right before the flight takes
off. Right.
It's
like hit or miss. Like 70% of the time you can get a good upgrade. Because for them,
it's like, well, there's no one there, so we might as well take this fucking
this
lanky gringo.
Yeah. Money. So I mean, the business class costs, if you buy ahead of time, like months in advance, are thousands of dollars. Yeah. But if you just buy a cheap economy ticket and then wait at the airport and then try and upgrade at the end, it's like $200 or $400. So it's like a third of the business class price. So that's what I do when I have to travel a lot. And I always just try and book a seminar to sort of deficit the costs, and like that's my system. if I have to like go compete in an international tournament.
There it is, guys. There's the system.
That's the system of comfort. That's a comfort system.
That's how you become
Keenan's
successful
comfort
in jiu-jitsu.
system.
Yeah, just be comfortable.
Who was making fun of me for it? Was it Connor when we had that conversation?
For being for being
like calling me like a diva or something because I wanted to
for being too
fly in
comfortable,
comfort.
for being a fancy boy.
For being fancy because I didn't want to sit and coach anymore. Dude,
I recall you ditching me on a flight one time.
Dude,
I was back there
honestly,
in basic economy, and Keenan was like, "Sorry, bro, I'm out. Upgrade."
At this point, dude, it's like my neck can't handle sitting in economy. Like my neck and back is just so beat up, and I'm so tall for like a normal economy seat. My knees can't like touch. My knees are just constantly 3 inches longer than they need to be to like fit in economy. So I'm like constantly like sitting like this or like putting my legs up, and it's just such a mess.
I do remember when we flew back from Kazakhstan when we did ACB.
Oh, that's probably I
was in the window and you were in the middle seat, and I was so uncomfortable because you are so big.
Yeah, I just don't fit back there.
Your shoulders and elbows were just spilling over the armrest.
That's why I always post about like my armrest battles.
No, it's a real thing. The armrest battles.
Because I have to spill over my seats.
Bro,
dude.
It's infuriating sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, because I want to know who gets the armrest. The person who's in the
Everyone
middle?
says that the person in the middle gets them, and everyone's like, some people are like mad at me for taking over middle seat armrest when I'm on the side, but I think it's just like a free for all, bro. Like if I can assert my dominance over the armrest, that's your fault that you didn't get that armrest. Like you can try and get it too. Like you're entitled to your spot on it. Like if you want to try and get it, you can try. I'm not going to like punch you in the face, but like I am going to put my arm there. And if you,
but are you going to consume the entire thing, or what about?
No. So you leave a little back elbow space.
Right. You
that's
consume the front half.
So you move your elbow forward just a little, which is like more comfortable anyways. No one's going to sit with their elbows back like this. And then like they can kind of like shimmy in if they want to take the second place spot.
Okay, so is it uncomfortable for you if your arms are resting on each other? Like,
so that's what was happening in my most recent,
arm?
or like 2 flights ago. I don't remember where I went, but some guy was like countering my strategy by like bringing his arm so close to mine without touching it that just our arm hairs were touching.
Yep.
I call it the Bristle Strategy now, and it's very effective. If you use it against someone, like you're not, it's like you and your little brother or something. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you, but he's doing it with his arm hair, and I felt it, and it actually like got me off the armrest.
He creeped you out.
He creeped me out with his arm hair, and I know he was doing it on purpose because
same thing happened to me. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Dude,
I had the same experience last weekend.
Yeah,
and not that they were doing it on purpose, but I felt the arm hair.
This guy did it on purpose because the second I moved my arm, he like let out like a sigh, like, and then like got comfortable.
That was just him saying that he owned you.
Yeah, dude, I got right. I'm not very good at the arm wrest battle, but I try and fight them as often as I can to get better.
Or do you change your strategy if it's a woman or a man?
Oh no mercy. Like if it's a woman, I'm just like fully man spreading like, my elbows. What's the deal with man spreading? Like, why is that even a topic?
I don't know.
People don't like that guys like open their legs up to sit.
I've never talked about it. I've never even heard it talked.
You've never heard of man spreading?
No.
Really?
I mean, I know what you're saying. I know what you're talking about.
People talk about it all the time, like it's like rude or something. And I don't know if it's like there's like 2 sides to the story.
I don't know
if like some people defend man spreading or not. I need to look more into it because I'm not sure if it's an actual thing. But I think it might be kind of like the gender thing that's happening.
What gender thing?
What is it?
I'm just kidding, bro.
Oh, you know all
gender
about
wars.
it.
Yeah, the gender wars that are ongoing and perpetual forever, that no one actually cares about. Well, I guess.
Well, like
some people care. I don't care.
You can't call people by like their sex.
I can call
it has
people
to be by their
whatever
gender.
I want.
Right, but they want to be called something else by like institutions only. So like bathrooms have to be labeled differently.
You
or
get
something.
3 options with me. With me, you're either dude, man, or bro.
Regardless, yeah,
doesn't matter.
That's true.
Yeah,
I pretty much refer
what
to
your
everyone.
genitalia looks like. To me, you're either dude, man, or bro.
I don't think they care what their genitalia looks like either. It's just how they identify themselves. It's not a physical thing.
If you're a female and you're my friend, you're probably dude.
Damn, bro. That's super sexist of you.
Okay, what about when you say, hey, guys, and it's a group of mixed men and women? Is that a big issue? Is that wrong? What is guys? What is a guy? A guy's a man.
I bet people could find a way to get upset about it.
Well, I'm sure they can. Is a guy a man, or is a guy a group of people?
A guy's a guy.
And you say,
and
hey,
that's
guys,
just guys being dudes.
What do you say? Do you say, hi, hey, guys and gals? Guy and gal are the
gal is so antiquated, though. It's like no one uses that word anymore.
Right. Hey, guys. Hey, you all. That's better.
But
anyways, can I tell you the funny story now?
Okay.
Did you hear about how Mike Perez got scammed?
No.
Oh, good. So in the locker room on Monday after training, I just heard her.
Wait, are you sure you can talk about this?
Yeah, I asked for Mike's permission.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked for Mike's permission, and he said, "Yeah, go for it. Just make sure you give his Instagram handle a shout out."
Okay, well,
okay.
what
So
happened?
Mike Perez, Atos black belt, and fellow 88 kilogram 80cc competitor, Mike Perez, Instagram handle Pikel Merez. Just
switch the
N
first
into
and
P.
last letters.
Okay. He was walking around downtown with his friend
Tony?
No, I don't remember who it was, but somehow they got into a conversation with a third party, another man. Okay, and the man, and I don't know, it was a very natural thing that occurred. I think the friend asked the guy for directions, or I don't know, something. Anyways, they started talking. Okay, and Mike and this new guy that they met, let's call him the salesman. The salesman got into this really deep conversation with Mike. They started talking about life and the universe and God, and like the guy told Mike about how he died one time and came back, and he had a near-death experience, and he saw God, and he's a man of God, and he just kept invoking God.
Okay.
And like really got Mike sucked into it, you know?
Really?
And then the guy was like, "Bro, I really like you." This guy's the salesman talking to Mike. He's like, "I like you a lot, man. You got good vibes." And he's like, "I appreciate you." He's like, "I want to help you out." He's like, "I got a box of these like iPhones that I got to get rid of, and they're extra inventory, and I got to get rid of them. They're down in the truck in the mall." And he's like, "All you got to do is pay the sales tax, and we're good." And Mike's like, and Mike told me, he goes, Mike just believes that, you know, he believes in karma, and he believes the universe like brings things to you.
He thinks
like,
he's about to get a box of
yeah,
good iPhones.
he's going to come up. You know, like sometimes life's got you up, sometimes life gets you down. He's like,
Yeah.
he thought this is just one of those times that like he's going to get something from the universe, and that's cool. And so Mike like follows him to the mall. They drive. They get in the cars.
He gets in the
No,
cars.
they get in their separate cars.
Okay.
They drive to the mall. The guy keeps talking to Mike, and the guy has like a badge, like an employee badge, and
Oh, he looks all official. He's a full-on
yeah.
con
And
artist.
the guy's given, and the guy got Mike really sucked into the story, right? He's like, it's like a 3-hour ordeal. Okay, Mike is like, he talked to this guy for 2 hours on the street before they decided to go to the truck.
Wow.
So then the guy's like, okay, well, you know, I'll take your payment. And he took Mike's cash. And then he gave Mike an invoice. He emailed it to him.
Really?
Mike
Like
checked
all
the invoice on
official.
his phone. And the guy was like, okay, I'll be right back. He's like, I got to go down in the inventory area. And I'll grab him and I'll be right back. And then the guy took Mike's cash. He left. And then
That was it?
Mike said he sat there for 1 hour waiting for him. And then the guy never came back. And he was like, fuck, I just got scammed.
Damn. How much money was it?
$400, I think. Yeah, it's a
Yikes.
tough one, man.
That's
3 hours though. I mean, I've heard of this scam before, like the whole like, oh, I have some electronic shit. All you gotta do is pay the
I've
sales
never heard
tax.
of it. I don't think it wouldn't work on me just because I don't talk to people, but I could see how almost anyone would fall for that, especially someone like Mike who's like in those situations and is like constantly looking for a hustle to like take advantage of.
Right.
Damn, that sucks. But it's also like kind of funny
So
and a good lesson for him.
I felt the reason to tell that story so that everyone else can be aware of the scam artists. Be careful out there, guys.
Dude, that guy's like a full-on con man.
Yeah, I know, for real. 2
Like-
hours of conversation.
That's like
He was committed.
they can make a movie about that guy.
And I think the salesman didn't start the conversation. I think it was Mike's friend who started the conversation.
Really? So, oh my god.
so, like-
So he's an opportunistic.
Right.
He's just an opportunist.
Right. And the funny thing is, that same day, I got like 4 or 5 phone calls from the Social Security Administration. You guys can't see my fingers. I'm doing the quote unquote, saying that there's suspicious activity with my Social Security number and that they've suspended my Social Security number and that I should call them back immediately.
Which is not possible.
And I was
really,
like, what do
is it?
they mean they suspended my Social Security number? Like, does that mean I don't have to pay taxes while it's
Yeah.
suspended? What does it mean?
Dude, I freaking got my identity stolen.
Real?
Yeah, and then someone was like writing checks from my account to themselves. But there's not really much you can do about it. You just have to report it. But
yeah, I have to get a new credit card probably once a year because someone makes a bullshit purchase.
oh really?
But I've never had to pay for it. The bank
I had
canceled
to
it.
switch bank accounts. Like I had to my whole bank account was compromised.
That's why I use credit cards.
Yeah. With like But yeah, it ruined my credit. I had to really work back up and fix it because the guy was taking out payday loans to himself under my name and with like random addresses, and somehow like they just let people do that if they have your social security number. It's kind of crazy, especially with how prevalent you have to write your social security number down on like applications and like anywhere. It's just you have to put it out there so often. That's all they need is that and like your account number.
Right.
And that's
or
it.
Your address.
And you can get the problem was I left a check in my old place. Like a blank check was left in my old house that I was living at. And someone who came in to clean or something, who moved in after me, found it. And your account number is just right across the bottom of all your checks.
Yep.
And that's all they need is your account number and your name. And they can just
whammy.
Just hit you for whatever they want. But they try and like do small amounts so you don't notice.
Right.
Because if they do too big of amounts, it's like a, red flag. They'll freeze the account. So they do like small amounts over time. So it was like $300, $400. And then he like started getting ballsier and wrote a check to himself for $3,000. And that's when I noticed, and I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Have you ever heard of the scam where you're trying to buy something? So, like, let's say it's a BMW, right? And someone's trying to sell you a BMW for like $2,000, but they want to write you a check for $4,000, and then you're supposed to deposit the check and then give them the difference back. You never heard of that scam?
I mean, I feel like I've heard a few.
Lucas Barbosa almost got caught with this one.
Damn.
He I don't know how. I think he found it on Craigslist. He was shopping for a car. He found a car for sale on Craigslist. It was a BMW for $2,000. And then he starts talking to the person, and they're like, "Oh, it's my ex-husband's. Like, we had divorced. I'm just trying to liquidate all of his crap." He's like, and she was like, "I'm going to send you a check for." It wasn't double the amount. It was like, but it was like the $2,000, and she was going to send a check for $3,500. And then Lucas was supposed to deposit the check and then write her a check back for the difference for $1,500.
I think that scam works because they can be like, "Oh, someone wrote me a check for this amount. I can just endorse it straight to you." Right. So it's like faster, so it doesn't have to clear my account than to you. And so you're like, "Sure, I mean, yeah, I guess."
So you deposit a bullshit check and then they take
your money right away. Yeah. That sucks, man. Dealing with people on the internet.
Scum of the earth.
Like if
scam artists are the scum of the earth.
I got scammed too buying a car. My first car I ever bought. I was so excited. I had saved up like $7,000 from my first DVD sales I ever did back at Brown Belt. Yeah, Brown Belt, like 2013.
What was it called?
Breakthrough Jujitsu or something.
Nice.
It was like sexy. During my like breakout year, I guess. I don't know. Whatever the point. Like the point is, I spent all my money on this used Audi A4, and it was like this tiny little car, but it was so cool, and I was like, damn, this is like my first car. It's like not a shitty car, you know. Yeah. I like felt cool that I had like a kind of nice car. I think I bought it for $10,000 total, and I paid cash for it. And when I got there, it was like in such good shape, like it looked so clean. And then I opened up the hood to look on inside the hood, and it was like suspiciously clean on the inside. Like the engine was like suspiciously like so polished and like so nice looking. I was like, damn, like someone really took care of this car. But I didn't know what a salvage title was. I was like, I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't know that existed, and it wasn't listed on the thing. And I was doing this all by myself without anyone's help, and I'm just an idiot and didn't like research beforehand. Turns out it had been in an accident, and
the frame was twisted or something.
It was like the transmission was just destroyed, and so it like whoever fixed up the car and cleaned it really nice, like got it running smoothly, and then within like 8 months, it was like just constantly falling apart. And I eventually sold it to Carlos for $800.
Carlos at Autos?
Yeah. I think he still has it. He like got it fixed up because he knew some people. And I was like trying to get it fixed in places, and everywhere that was like trying to fix it, it was the cost was more than the value of the car because it was a salvage anyway. So I was like, why do I have this fucking car?
He did tell me about this piece of shit car that he bought from you one time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I told him. Was it Mitsubishi?
No, it was an Audi.
Audi. Yeah, that's right. Audi.
It was a white little Audi.
Yeah, I remember.
The color it was painted was Cosmic Latte was the name.
Cosmic Latte?
Yeah, it's like a very beautiful, like off-white, but like
Cosmic Latte.
Of the cosmos.
That's nice.
It was pretty sick.
Okay, I'm totally going to shift gears on you.
But I'm happy about my most recent car purchase.
Now that we're done talking about scam artists. Guys, don't get scammed.
I keep having things I want to bring up, but then we get sidetracked and I forget.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. For everyone listening, my gym is opening very soon. Like not with the grand opening, but I'll have mats
soft
down,
opening.
And I'll like start letting people sign up.
Mats on the concrete when?
I get the final lease agreement either today or tomorrow, and I just sign it, and then I get the keys, and then I as long as it takes to get mats installed.
Where's it at?
Which can be pretty fast. It's on Miramar Road.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Yeah, Miramar Road
So
in
off
San
of,
Diego.
Off the 15.
Yeah, in between the 15 and the 805 or the 5. I'm not sure if it turns
805 and the 5 make a V.
Yeah, it's like in between the closest one.
There's a store, a fight store, 80858 Fight Shop.
Yeah. That was one of my first seminars I ever did was there. Like 8 people.
Where they have mats inside the store.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sweet.
So that's happening very quickly, and it's going to be
sick. You can have a barbecue? Soft opening barbecue? Or is that,
no, but I have so much space that I was thinking I want to start like hosting tournaments there.
Ping pong tournaments.
Yeah, ping pong tournaments, bro. I need a lot of ping pong tables. No, dude, jiu-jitsu tournaments. I have so much mat space. I could easily fit eight competition regulation mats in this place.
Serious?
Yeah, it's 10,000 square feet, an open floor plan with just like locker rooms in the corner or the shower bathroom. So I'm going to put like 8 competition regulation mats, and then it has these huge bay doors, like 3 massive bay doors, because it's like a double ceiling. It's not like, low. Yeah. It's like a warehouse.
Yeah.
So I want to like have it be a venue for tournaments, like World Series. We have the connects.
Yeah.
Like I'll do it for free.
World Series of
Can you imagine how good that would be for a gym to be able to host tournaments with like thousands of people attending to like just be at your academy? That'd be so good for getting people in.
So Jason Bukic is the organizer for World Series of Jiu-Jitsu. So Jason Bukic, take note.
Yeah, if anyone, I'm going to make it really sick. Like I'm going to make it really nice inside. It'll be a lot nicer than, a high school venue.
Are you going to make...
You don't have to bring your own mats. Like, they just save so much money. It's such a good idea.
Very important question.
Okay.
What color will your mats be?
Dude, I don't know. I've been thinking. I know. I've been thinking about that. I was thinking I was going to go like...
Don't do red.
I don't want red. The inside of the place is all white already. Like the walls and the ceiling is all white. And then it's just like a concrete floor. So I was going to like polish the concrete floor kind of like how Otto's finally did.
Yeah.
Once they moved from that orange color to
the polished concrete is really nice.
It looks really nice, right? So I was going to do that.
Clean.
Yeah, and it gives it sort of like that kind of grungy, clean, industrial feel that like AOJ has. But I don't want white mats. I think I was going to go like gray and blue or like gray and black or something. I like
gray a lot.
Gray is the best color for mats, I think. But yeah, there's just so much space, and like I have like a whole back parking area and like so much parking. I could totally run it. I could totally host a seminar or a tournament.
You can totally host a Hinger BJJ seminar.
I could host seminars. Yeah, I need you to come to my opening, dude, and host seminars. I got to do the whole thing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go, everyone.
It's happening. Like I'm not fucking around. Like this, it's happening fast.
Well, I believe you because you dropped an F-bomb.
I'm not fucking around.
Clearly, it's important.
If I was typing to you right now, I'd be typing in caps, so you know how serious I am.
Well, look, we can host a tournament with our new rule set that we talked about in episode 2 or 3. Was it 2?
Also, I need good training partners. So if you're a high level purple belt or like someone who competes,
if you're a high level white belt,
if you're someone who competes seriously and wants to be in a situation where you can get really good training and like potentially like some sort of sponsorship to compete, like I would like to give that opportunity to other people so that like 1, I can have good training partners. 2, I can start building a competition team. So just like shoot me an email.
I was thinking the Matburn podcast should sponsor an athlete. Up and comer, like a young athlete.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to get.
A young, hungry blue belt.
I'm gonna have a fighter house and everything for people.
Nice.
And then if they want it, that's their job. If they're there, like they'll get like I don't know.
So Sunshine's gonna get an upgrade from the garage.
He's gonna be the manager, of the fight house. Actually, yeah, maybe.
Sunshine is currently sleeping in Keenan's garage.
Yeah, I found him in there this morning.
Like you didn't even realize he was there.
I didn't know.
You woke up and you found a jiu-jitsu kid, a jiu-jitsu blue belt sleeping on your garage.
He's a purple belt. He's a
jiu-jitsu purple belt sleeping on the mats in your garage.
Sunshine just goes where he pleases. He's sort of like
I respect it.
He's like the epitome of like
it.
jiu-jitsu lifestyle. Like he's ingrained himself so fully in jiu-jitsu without having the competition results yet. Like he has created an environment for himself where he can train as much as he wants. He's like around me, and
where's he training right now?
Studio 540 with me and wherever I go. So like wherever I go, he goes, and we just get into wherever we go. So we just kind of bounce around. Like we went to University of Jiu-Jitsu. We went to Studio 540, which I actually have to leave to pretty soon for their judo class. I'm meeting Dom and Nassar. Are you training today?
I am not.
Are you sick today? Or you just don't want to train today?
I'm wiped out, man. I hit.
You never want to train, dude.
Because look, I traveled all weekend just like you.
So did
I'm
I.
traveling next weekend.
You have ADCC, dude. Are you competing or what?
I'm competing before ADCC. I'm fighting Mateus Denise in Kasai.
Dude, come train, bro.
You guys are gonna train in the gi.
I'll try no-gi with you. I really need to learn how to defend guillotine chokes.
You're not going to learn that with training with me.
Okay, so here's
with me. You're just going to learn how to tap.
So like, I understand that opening a gym, I'll have like not as great of training that I've had for the last few years, but
I got something to say about this.
But I mean, well, one, if you look at historically all the people that win worlds after they open their gyms, it's insane. Like almost all of them only won after they opened their gyms.
Look what JT did.
JT, Lepre, Filipena, Galvao, Homolo, like everyone did it. Cobrinha, like every world champion that you know won their world titles after they opened their gym. And I think, go ahead. What do you think? I
asked JT about it. I said, is it easier or harder, training for competitions with your new academy? And he said, man, I've never trained harder. He's like, because this
You're
is
just there all the time, and it's your baby.
He says, my baby. Yeah. He's like, I need to.
It's your thing. So the amount of effort you put into it, you get out of it.
Yeah.
I can see that.
He wants to represent his academy. So he went out there like with a whole new level of fire inside of him.
I feel that already. Like I feel that sort of. It's like pressure, but it's like good pressure, I
always wonder if this is what being a parent is like.
Right. When you create something like this is like our life's work. Once you finally get to an academy.
You're going to fight harder now, Keenan?
I don't know. Probably not.
You're going to start slapping yourself in the face before the match?
Did you see Marigali has like a camera guy following him around? He does like cool documentary style recordings of him going to events and like competing and stuff. And he posted the Worlds one. And he had our match in it, and he like totally showed him getting beat by me in his documentary, and they used it as like sort of like a we came back from this and then won the division type deal, which is cool. Like it's cool that they don't try and hide the losses.
Yeah.
But what he had to say about the match was pretty funny. He was like, and I don't disagree with him necessarily. He was like, I didn't lose because Keenan was better than me. I lost because I gave him 2 points. Is what he said. And
he gave it to you.
Yeah,
he wanted to play some guard.
But it's funny that they say that because that's the one part of the fight where the camera cut out for the Flow Grappling stream. So there's no footage of the sweep that happened. Like no one knows what actually happened. And so I wonder if it's like conveniently said in that way because there's no proof of what actually happened. But in the match, I got worm guard in that moment that you can't see on video. In the match, I got worm guard, and then he kind of like sat down because he didn't want to feel the worm guard.
The more you fight it, the worse it gets.
Right. Basically, you have to sit down. Against me, at least.
You can give up 2 for the sweep, or you can
risk the back arm bar.
Risk the back or the mount.
So,
yeah.
But he's super good. I would say like overall, his jiu-jitsu, like his fundamental jiu-jitsu is better than mine. Like what he like normal jiu-jitsu for sure. Like his ability to like play guard and like attack submissions super effectively from everywhere, and like I think he's very good. Yeah, but I have like a trap card thing. It's like,
well, you also do gi and no gi, and he doesn't, and that's
true.
That's something you can always hold over him.
Dude, I'm starting to seriously consider just committing to one.
That's what Don Bell just decided to do too.
I mean,
Don Bell said he's done with no gi, no more.
No one really can do both of them anymore. Like Andre was the last guy to really pull it off.
Dominate both.
Yeah. And like I think now it's getting to the point. Like he was like right before that era of like the specialists,
Yeah.
Like the heel hook specialists versus the gi specialists. And like, I'm kind of a gi specialist, dude. My entire game and system is built around a fucking lapel.
Yeah.
Like, well, I've spent so many hours holding onto a lapel. Switching to no gi is like, what am I doing? Like,
I only ever put a gi on for fun. I just wanted to try it for fun.
Dang.
That's all it's ever been for
me.
But
I feel like you like training in the gi a lot.
I do like it. It's fun.
I don't even like training no gi.
It challenges my core in a different way, when you're trying to pass someone's guard and they're just holding onto your hips.
Do you feel like it challenges your mind in a different way too?
Of course. Yeah.
Do you think gi is a little more mentally challenging? Like you have to think a little bit more?
Definitely.
And no gi is a little more physically challenging. Like you have to move a little bit more. I think like, okay, that's 100%. An important distinction that needs to be made because people kind of like, there's kind of an argument about like which is more technical. And like, if you just look at the facts, there are more options in the gi.
Yeah,
like,
way of course. More. There's more to think about.
And so it's like more for your brain to absorb, and like you have to think about those things live because there's more things you have to account for to be good at it.
Let me make the counter argument because I, of course, as everyone knows, I defended no gi like to the death for years and years and years. I would argue that no gi happens at a faster rate. So again, you had to be able to think quicker on your feet.
Okay. That's a good point. Yeah.
But so there's more to think about in a gi, but it happens at a slower pace sometimes.
Interesting, yeah.
But no gi happens at a faster pace, but there's less options, technical options.
Right.
So,
but I would say at that point it's like more reaction time and instinct.
But I do agree.
In the gi, it's a little more like conscious thinking. Like a conscious thought can win you a match. Like thinking like, if I do this, he won't be able to do that
one
anymore.
grip can win the match.
Just like
one
good grip that kills their best game or something.
Yeah.
Like me and Marigali, which
like
we'll never, just so everyone knows, we will never stop talking about the Marigali match on this podcast.
And we're never going to show it to you guys.
And we're also never going to do the live breakdown.
Even though I've tried many times and Keenan always
No, we'll do it once
we're
in like a good desk where we can really sit and like do it right and like have the telestrator function and like highlight shit.
Before we get off topic again, I wanted to go back.
We're not on a topic.
I know, but we mentioned JT, and I wanted to ask you about JT versus Magner this weekend.
Oh shit!
I think it's going to be a badass match. And of course, I have to go with JT because he's my teammate and my friend and my old training partner.
Oh, I think JT takes that easy, man.
But I stayed up really late the other night watching Magner versus AJ. Not that I'm not comparing
That's
AJ
like
to JT.
the worst comparison.
I'm not. But I did love the way that Magner just hangs on that Kimura constantly.
Oh yeah, that's such a good. I mean, Kimura trap is like the only thing that is really secure no-gi. Like Kimura trap's like the one thing someone can't slip out of no-gi.
Right.
It's like the one lock you can really hang on to.
Dude, Magner was just hanging off of AJ's body by that Kimura grip for half the match.
Yeah. I like Magner always impresses me because he's an older guy and he kind of didn't do a lot in jiu-jitsu as a younger guy.
Until he was a black
belt.
belt.
He was like, an upper belt and an older dude.
Like I feel like these past 3 years have been his best years.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
I think he was doing MMA too.
That's
right?
going to be me, man. Like I'm really going to hit my stride in my mid-30s.
Wasn't he doing MMA more or less?
I don't know. I don't know his full story, but I only started paying attention to his stuff recently.
I was in Florida
the last couple of years.
2 weeks ago, and I messaged Magner, and I was going to try to do an episode with him, but I had to drive from the airport.
That'd be a good guest.
I know, right? So I had to drive an hour and a half north, and he was an hour and a half south, so it just ended up being way too far, and I couldn't get out to see him, and I had private lessons to do. But anyways, I'm going to get Magner on the podcast. He wanted to do it.
What are you going to do when you're done competing? You're just going to be a podcast host?
Podcast, bro.
You're just going to hit this podcast?
This is my new life. This is my lifestyle now.
You don't want to, but are you just going to do seminars and just podcast and just like be kind of an announcer type?
I'm getting kind of burnt out on seminars.
Seminars are hard, dude. It's good money, but it's hard.
I'm getting burnt out on it, dude. I will have.
It's literally like touring like a musician would, like without a tour bus.
It's hard, man. I look at airplanes and I want to vomit. I'm just so sick of airplanes, man. I'm so sick of elbow battles. I'm so sick of like.
Well, if you're looking for a new teaching position, let me know. I've got some spots opening up.
I'm tired of TSA rubbing up my inner thigh.
I hear you're pretty good with kids. I got you.
I didn't catch that. What'd you say?
I said I hear you're pretty good with kids in the kids class.
I do.
Do you still teach kids class at Autos?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love those kids. They're like my family.
They love you too, man. All the kids that come up and talk to me are like, they always ask about you. All the Autos kids or all the like that I see at tournaments or around or whatever. I
just think it's gonna be really cool one day when I'm old and like beat up and in a wheelchair because someone tore all my ligaments off my knee, and I'm gonna be watching these kids just tear shit up, and I'm gonna be super happy to watch them just demolish people.
Right.
And I'm gonna be like, I trained that kid when he was 8 years old.
Do you think they'll remember you sort of like a high school teacher type deal?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Like, I can remember all my teachers.
I think you got to stay involved in them because these kids are young, man.
Can you remember your first grade teacher?
First grade? I don't even know, dude.
I remember Mrs. Rose. Second grade, Mrs. Spencer.
Where was I first grade?
Third grade, Mrs. Segasser, and she was hot. And that's a crazy thought. I was in third grade, and I remember thinking my teacher was hot. 8 years old. How do you know
kids know like what a pretty girl looks like?
But like you're so prepubescent.
I
zero
doubt
testosterone.
You're not having sexual feelings towards your teacher as an 8-year-old.
No, I'm not saying I did.
Right.
But I'm just saying I definitely had a crush on my third grade teacher.
You know what? I think I remember my third grade teacher was Mrs. Carmen, and I had a crush on her too.
Yeah.
Third grade was like that's like the time you start noticing girls. Like, wait, that's a beautiful thing over there. What is that?
Why do I like looking at her?
Why do I like?
I don't understand
what is going on.
So, anyways, JT and Magner. You got JT.
JT
you
takes
kind of
that.
have to say that.
I mean, even if totally unbiased opinion, JT's an ADCC champion, dude. They were in the same division at ADCC. Like JT killed everyone.
But JT and Wagner didn't.
They didn't fight.
No, they didn't. JT fought.
I think Gary beat Wagner, or something like that. But JT is like
Wagner
super.
got third. Wagner beat Gary.
JT doesn't get enough credit for how good he is.
I think it's because he doesn't compete very much.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's because he's just JT's the kind of guy to not really want to like ruffle any feathers. He doesn't want to ruffle any feathers, so he like keeps to himself a little bit. Like he could promote himself more and kind of like put his personality out there more, but he chooses not to. And I think
a humble spirit. Yeah,
he's just like super humble to a fault, to the point that like it kind of doesn't. He doesn't get the notoriety that he should. Is notoriety a bad thing? Or is that a good thing? Being notorious?
It means you're notable. But notoriety means you're notable.
But being notorious is like kind of a bad thing.
No.
But it's like being well known for a bad thing.
It could be, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's a bad thing. Some people have viewed bad things as good things.
But yeah, JT has been for a long time probably like, I think he was the best American grappler, gi and no gi, for a very, very long time. And I don't think people really officially gave him that title, but it definitely was his.
And he was officially the youngest American to receive a black belt.
Yeah, he got his black belt at 19 or something.
19.
And he's been competing since. He's been competing at black belt for over 10 years. That's insane.
So he's now the youngest American third degree black belt.
If you guys don't know about JT, if you're new to jiu-jitsu, search JT Torres and watch all his matches and then like look at his stuff, because he's really amazing. He's got an incredible mind for jiu-jitsu. He's like just an absolute natural talent.
I remember the first time I saw JT, and I had always heard about how strong he was. And the first time I saw him, I was like, oh, he doesn't look that strong.
Yeah, people don't believe it.
He doesn't look that strong. And then the first time I trained with him, he absolutely abused me.
He's kind of like you. Like you guys have a similar body type, but he's like flexible too. And he's got that like weird like
he's a little smaller.
Yeah, he's smaller than you, but he's got that weird athleticism.
When he gets that knee up the middle in your guard, that's it, dude. He's going. He's getting through it.
No one has ever tore apart my guard as bad as JT has. No matter where I've ever gone to train with. Romulo was pretty close though. Romulo can tear up a guard.
So Romulo has that one grip that will ruin your life.
Yeah, it's like if he gets it, it doesn't matter who you are.
The collar grip behind your neck, if Romulo gets that, that's it. Like he's passing your guard.
Yeah, his knee cut is incredible. Of all the people I've trained with, Romulo and JT feel the most threatening from top as far as like passing your guard and sticking you there.
Yeah.
Those guys are really good. Andre was super good at passing, but he was just so comfortable in double unders, and double unders is kind of a position where you can kind of like, you can avoid getting passed.
I think the key to Andre's passing is that he changes sides.
Right.
He's always changing sides. He'll go hard on your right side, make you tired. He'll go hard on your left side.
The last time I trained with Andre, dude, he destroyed my lapel guard, which is so funny.
Probably because he knew he was going to kick you out, and he just wanted to give you one last ass whooping to send you on your way.
Dude, he really shut down my lapel guard the last day we trained.
Bro, he's like a specialist on defending lapel guard now.
Yeah, that's kind of the same. That's kind of the same thing that JT had over me too. Is like we trained together as I was like developing any guard, and so he kind of just knew every step of the way.
Their defensive development,
and then Andre is the same
time.
But then he posts techniques on Instagram and stuff that's like he doesn't do those to me, at least. Like I don't know who he's doing those lapel guard counters to, but that's not what he did to me, and he knows ways to beat it.
Yeah, obviously passing your lapel guard is going to be more difficult than passing most other people.
Right.
Obviously.
But it's no less effective than what he actually does.
It's like if he works on something that kind of works on you sometimes, it's going to work on other people all the time.
What do you think about having students at your team? Like, what do you think about them having all of the students' instructionals on the website?
Auto specifically?
Yeah. Do other gyms do that? I don't really know.
Like, you mean like when someone teaches the class and they have that class on the line, or like an actual instructional series?
I don't think they have that.
No, they don't have that, right?
Just the classes, I guess.
I mean, I
guess when you put it in the class, like it's just the class. Like,
yeah, they're teaching a class and they film the class. Yeah. Like I taught a class last night, and they recorded it.
Sorry about coughing, guys.
And it's on their website. And
maybe I shouldn't go train to do today. I thought I was good enough to train, but I shouldn't be coughing over people.
That's a good one. What about these fools that show up to training sick? I'm going to guilt you right now so you stay here and podcast.
Well, I thought I was going to be okay. Last night I was getting better, and then this morning I woke up really just coughing up a lot.
2 nights ago, I woke up with a really sore throat too. I think it's the pollen, man. It's the pollen. It's dry right now. You know, it got dry real quick.
It can't. There's no way pollen is like settling in my chest like this. Like I have like congestion in my chest. I'm dying, Josh. And my kidney feels like it's failing. I have like weird back pain on one side.
And you slouch.
I'm slouching because, first of all, this is like pulling my head forward, but that is another thing. I need to work on my posture.
You could actually pull this closer to you.
That's a good idea, actually. I didn't think of that.
Okay, so what do we think about Yuri versus Kyle Snyder? Is it ever going to happen?
I don't think so. I think, like...
Is it the way everyone says it will go down?
In a wrestling match, yeah.
Kyle Snyder wins.
Yeah.
In a grappling match, Yuri takes it back
and wins. Of
course,
yeah. But it's just like, you can't really compete against a specialist in their sport, which brings us back to the gi versus no gi thing. Like, it's a specialist thing now. It's just...
You think I should give up on the gi and just train no gi?
I mean, you're probably not even going to be competing super seriously for that.
Bro, what the... What are you saying?
Well, you can't just do this forever.
Are you trying to announce my retirement without even talking to me about it?
No, I'm just saying, like you could easily do both, and it would be better for you.
Are you calling me old?
No, I feel like you doing both would be better for your overall jiu-jitsu career. You know, like just spread yourself as thin as possible on all the fields of battle.
Are you trying to tell me to spread myself thin so that I'm not a threat to you at ADCC?
Dude, I'm not a threat at ADCC. Look, dude, my game is so gi specific right now. Like I have to do like a full on 5 months of no gi to really get my vibe, you know?
Are you going to do Master Worlds in the gi?
Hell no.
Vegas Open?
Masters? No.
When are you going to do Masters?
When I'm like 40.
Will you ever do Masters?
Probably not.
Why?
I mean, I'll do both maybe.
Why?
Yeah. I'll do both.
Why not do Master Worlds when it comes around?
I mean, yeah, I would do it. But I'm not going to substitute it is what I mean.
There's nothing that happens at the same time. You could do what I do and do Master Worlds and Las Vegas Open at the same venue on the same day.
But I'm not going to substitute the real worlds for Masters Worlds, like the adult worlds for Masters.
No, there's no need to substitute. They happen at different times and different months.
Okay, but I mean, I don't like to compete too much per year because it's draining on me.
What do you think is the optimal amount of competition for a professional black belt?
As many as you can do while still being happy about your training and enjoying it.
It's like, you know how like people, MMA fighters, obviously they can't really fight more than 3 times a year max, maybe.
And that's just for like damage though, I think.
Right, of course. They're taking blows to their brain. What about jiu-jitsu though? You think it's
no-gi damages me.
You think it's reasonable to compete every other weekend for an entire year?
I think you can, yeah.
Do you remember that year that we both had like just a monstrous amount of matches?
It's 2017 was the year, yeah.
2017, right?
And we did so many matches.
I had 76 matches, and I thought I had the most, and you were the only one.
I had like 80 something.
You had 80.
Which is so funny because like the year before that, I did like 4 matches.
Yeah.
And then I came back the next year and just did so many. And
this year, I've only done 4 matches.
This year, I've only done 3 matches.
Yeah, I suck this year.
I don't remember what happened really in the beginning of this year. I skipped a lot of stuff for some reason.
Well, I don't want to deny a seminar to do a competition when the very reason for doing competitions is to get seminars. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I guess from like a money making standpoint.
Why do you do competitions?
I do it for my own personal
to validate your techniques for your website.
Yeah, I mean I feel like that's kind of secondary though.
Oh, making money is secondary? Yeah, right. The Keenan Cornelius I know loves money.
What? What are you talking about, bro? I love giving away money.
How so?
I like to help people.
Should we do a giveaway? Let's do a podcast giveaway right now.
What are we going to give
away?
I
just came to drop this. Like this came out of nowhere. I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that Habrock is willing to give a gi to someone as a giveaway. Can you say the same thing about your sponsor? If you announce it, I bet they'll go with it.
I wouldn't even need their permission. I have so many of their gis in my closet of
all
so sizes.
I.
Like I could just give away.
I can give away one of my gis from Habrock.
I think we should probably put more thought into that because the whole point of giveaways is like to.
Well, the way giveaways work is we have to convince the people to tag us and tag their friends in their post. Make a post about the Matburn podcast. Tag the Matburn podcast.
Yeah.
Tag Habrock Sports.
I just don't think a good place to announce it is the podcast itself. I think the social media is a good place to announce it.
Okay, guys, just stay tuned for a future gi giveaway.
We'll do that in the future.
It's going to happen. I just decided.
What does this button do? Is that the Bluetooth
push it,
button?
See what happens. Wait.
Did I cancel everything? No, it's still working.
What if we just had a meltdown right there? Don't
Podcast
be pushing buttons. Don't be pushing buttons when you don't know what they do.
I either have to go or don't have to go right now. I have to make the decision.
Bro, it's not even 10:30 yet. Relax.
All right, base it off the sound of this cough. Tell me if you think I should go train.
Yeah. Go. Ooh, that sounds kind of bronchial.
Yeah, it's a little bronchial, right?
That's a little bronchial.
I shouldn't train. Shoot, man. I really haven't been able to train very hard.
Dang it. No training for Keenan.
I mean, I sparred over the weekend of the seminar.
It's Wednesday, bro. It's rest day. So look, now you got to text your boys and let them know you're not coming, or you're going to be that guy who says, hey, let's meet up at noon, and then you don't show up.
I mean, I can still go to noon.
You're going to be that guy right now?
Well, the thing is, I'm supposed to teach the class over there at 12, but I was going to go do judo with Dom and Nassar early. They have a really awesome judo program at Studio 540.
Hey,
with Justin Flores.
Do you think that people would be interested in Dom's broken wrist story?
For sure. I think Dom is a really interesting person. I think he has a lot of interesting ideas and views.
Or should we save his story for when he's on the podcast?
I think that's what I'm saying. I think we should let him tell his own stories, but I think we should get Dom on the podcast. I think we should get all our buddies on the podcast because I think a lot of podcasts, the idea is to get notable figures to like bring more viewership to the podcast, but I think we're the opposite. I think we should bring guests on to bring our viewership to the guests.
So fun fact, right when we finish, I'm going to go over to Atos and record an episode with Galvao. Obviously, because they can't have you and him in the same room at the same time, because then the universe will implode.
Yeah, that would be awkward. I mean, only right now. Tell him I said hi, though.
I will.
And I wish him the best. And also tell him that if he needs any help training, I'm down to train.
Okay.
Seriously.
I will. I'll let him know. I'll let him know on the podcast episode, too, so that everyone knows that I let him know.
I have nothing against Andre as a person. I think he really tries his best.
Of course. The guy has a heart of gold. Like, it is what it is. Like, he maybe like 14 karat gold. Just kidding. Just kidding, Professor.
That was funny.
I mean, no one has a 24 karat.
Yeah, no one has a pure heart.
No one on planet Earth has that kind of a heart.
Yeah.
But no, he has good intentions.
Yeah. I really just want to train with Lucas more. I never get to train with Lucas.
I'm not gonna lie. Lucas was been gone for about a month, like doing his little world tour, and he just came back and had his first training session on Tuesday.
It didn't look so hot for him.
He looked bad. He was not doing well. He was suffering.
Lucas can do that though. He can just like get out of shape and then just come back and then get back in shape.
I'll give him a week. He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Give it a week. But he definitely did not show up to training the next day.
I'm the opposite. The less I train, the harder I come back. Like I come back and just like fat and fresh and ready to go. And I've got a solid, I've got like 3 rounds to just kick anyone's ass. And then
so you got to get the 3 toughest guys in the first 3
and then
rounds.
I'm like, I've got nothing left. And then like throughout that first week, once I'm tired, I can't do anything anymore. But my first day back is always really good.
I read yesterday, I read someone saying that you said Nogi is imploding because of wrestling and leg locks.
Yeah, I said that on the Flow Grappling podcast.
Do you think that's true? I mean, you said it. I assume you think it's true.
Yeah, I mean, to explain,
Did they take it out of context, or is that really what?
Well, I mean, I said those words. Yes, those are the verbatim words I said, but there was obviously a big explanation that followed it. And what I'm saying basically is Nogi used to be very much the same idea as gi, which was like a guard versus a pass. So if someone does this type of pass, you do this type of guard to counter it, which is basically how gi works. If someone does a knee cut, you have to counter it with like, some sort of hook or a different spider guard or like some sort of like, the guys from Norway call it a certain thing. There's like a name for this type of guard where you like put your crossfoot up. Anyways, Nogi used to be like that, but now Nogi, there is no guard you can play. You don't get to like go to a position.
Nogi guard? What about the rubber guard?
If someone goes into your closed guard, yeah, but it's like basically just closed guard and open guard. And then once you're in open guard, it's like you can kind of play a little butterfly, but it's like people just like kind of dance around and try and pass, and then you don't really get to play a really effective guard. Sweeps are not really an option. To go from top to bottom, it's either a leg lock or a single leg, and those are your options. You don't like sweep someone cleanly and just get on top like you see in every single gi match ever, basically.
What about deep half, man?
No one's using deep half, dude. When was the last time you saw deep half in any legitimate Nogi competition?
It was in the UFC.
That was a long time ago. That was an old fight.
We just
I told you
talked about that.
I know, but I told you about that, and that was an old fight. That was back when the Nogueira was fighting, but he did it really well.
Whatever happened to Mantis
It's
Guard?
imploding. I mean, Mantis Guard is like one of the only options that you really can do, and
Mantis
that's why
Guard was a complete failure.
that's
Mantis Guard. You were hoping Mantis Guard was going to become the new Worm Guard, and it didn't.
I tried to make a Nogi guard that was like brought back that same essence of like playing guard versus a pass, and Mantis Guard was the closest thing I could get. And it's just still not that effective as far as like an open.
It's really
guard.
good unless you know the one move that you
Yeah.
can do to shut it down, which I just happen to know.
Yeah. Well, again, because you were there for its creation and its
Right.
genesis, you learned every step of the way and got to experience me trying all the different movements to like
I'm sure you could
figure it
fuck
out.
up some purple belts with your Mantis Guard.
I can fuck up black belts with my Mantis Guard, and I do on a regular basis.
Speaking of fucking up black belts, the Rotolo boys are becoming quite the problem.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get their big boy strength.
We were doing
very soon.
situational training yesterday, and I had Cade on top of me, and he was an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Just would not stop moving, just bouncing back and forth, side to side. He's flexible. They're becoming stronger, and they have unlimited cardio. Like, bro, I mounted this kid, and he just bucked for like a minute straight. Buck left, buck right, buck left, buck right, buck left, buck right. And he just, I can buck 3 times, and I'm done. That's all my bucking power. This kid bucked 20 times. I got tired just trying to hold him down.
Damn.
And then he escaped.
Yeah, they're really good, and
It's very frustrating.
they're so motivated, and like they're just like in love with the sport. I don't think they're ever going to lose their passion or drive.
And I think they have a good balance because they don't train every day. Like some days they surf.
Yeah, they
Some
do.
days they skateboard.
That's super important. I think that's the thing. It's like they're naturally kind of keeping themselves happy in their training and not forcing themselves to do anything. And I think that's the most important thing in something like jiu-jitsu that takes so long to get good at. You really have to pace yourself.
So there's a pro tip in here.
What is
tip
it?
from Keenan Cornelius.
That's a bro tip, bro. If it comes from me, it's a bro tip.
Okay. Pro tip.
What is it?
If you feel yourself getting burnt out, take a day off.
Yeah, and this was a question that one of our viewers actually wanted us to talk about was, is the best thing to get better at jiu-jitsu? Like, do you have to only do jiu-jitsu? And if you want to be good, you got to train every day, twice a day, just doing jiu-jitsu, like on the mats, drilling, sparring, studying jiu-jitsu. Like, that's it. Or is it better to incorporate other things like surfing, yoga, weightlifting, these things that sort of optimize your body's ability to move and be like mobile and functional? Or is it better to just focus on learning and doing the actual jiu-jitsu techniques over and over and over again? What's more valuable?
I think that the muscle memory that comes from training jiu-jitsu, and I know muscle memory is kind of a controversial term.
It's not really a real
in
thing
itself.
like that.
It's not really
Yeah,
a thing.
It's not what people
I get
think it is.
It's
Yeah.
a metaphor.
Okay.
But the training memory that your body builds while doing jiu-jitsu is very valuable. But I think if you can preserve your mental health and your mental desire to train jiu-jitsu and be amazing at jiu-jitsu, if you can preserve that by doing something else that maybe won't benefit you physically as much as, like if you want to do yoga is very beneficial for jiu-jitsu. It's good for your flexibility. It's good for your core power. It's good for your mind. Like, it's not going to benefit you. A yoga class is not going to benefit your jiu-jitsu as much as a jiu-jitsu class, but the mental break and like the preservation of your desire to be a jiu-jitsu champion is like, even though the yoga is not going to benefit you as much, it's still a good thing to do. The yoga, like the extracurricular activity.
Word.
Does that make sense?
I understand. I think that you explained that perfectly. And I was just going to say,
like the mental break is more valuable than the physical benefits that you would get from the jiu-jitsu class.
well, just like anything, when you compare two opposites, it's the answer is very rarely one or the other. It's a mix of the two. And I would say in the beginning of your jiu-jitsu career, it's very important to train as much as possible, just to like immerse yourself in it so your brain can understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, because if you were rolling with another human being, there's so many options and things that can occur and happen that you will have never experienced before. Like, you'll have never seen this position before. Like, on a daily basis for years, you'll have never seen what you just experienced in training that day. After about 6 or 7 years, you start to like recognize like, oh, I've been here before. Oh, I've been here before. Now you start to see things popping up again. And once you get to that point where you've seen it all, and kind of experience, or at least most of the positions and the movements, and then you start like competing seriously or training super seriously, then it's time to like step back and do other stuff to like help you with the mental side, because the mental side is so important.
Like,
and Murgali was talking about that on his documentary. He was talking about how like he's constantly fighting the voice in his head that's telling him to give up and quit, and like he just shuts the door on the voice. He said it's pretty badass. You guys should watch the little documentary. It's on his YouTube channel.
I hate running, but lately I've been training jiu-jitsu so much that I'm super sick of tired of being on mats inside the training room, and the running is just a nice change of environment. And obviously the running is good for my body, it's good for my muscles and my heart and but it's just nice to have just a change. It's a change, man.
For sure. And like I think it's very good to do that kind of stuff, but I don't do it. Like I only train jiu-jitsu and lift weights, and I do those things not because they serve each other, but because I enjoy both of them. Yeah, no, like that's just what I do. But if I'm not going to, if I'm burnt out from training, I won't do other physical activity. I'll put my energy into like industrious stuff like this.
So someone asked me specifically if we can talk more about how guys balance weight training, running, and BJJ, and how you kind of use these things to prepare for a tournament. Obviously, you cannot run, weightlift, and train jiu-jitsu every single day. I mean, you could, I guess.
I think you could, like, if you had to.
If you had to. Like,
for this ADCC camp, I don't really have legitimate training partners, and I probably won't for a few months or longer. So my plan is to just go to Poway Regional Olympic Wrestling Training Center and enroll in their programs with all the kids, and
just work on that wrestling.
Well, no, the thing is they have a lot of great coaches that go in there a lot.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of high level coaches, and so I'm literally just going to go sit in with a group of like teenagers and like learn wrestling and wrestle with the coaches and stuff.
That's cool.
As often as I can.
Are you going to use wrestling shoes or no?
If they make me, I will, but I'd rather not.
But like wrestling mats are super soft.
Yeah,
you're definitely more likely to break your toe.
I would use them. Yeah. But I think ADCC is more. It's mostly.
It's wrestling.
It's mostly a wrestling tournament with submissions.
It is. It's a wrestling tournament that allows submissions.
I hate when my brain crosses wires and I can't speak. It's so embarrassing.
Submission wrestling.
It's submission wrestling. Yeah.
I really hate the fact that you can pick someone up and drop them on their knees and elbows and they can turtle, and that's not 2 points. Like, I hate that.
And that's a wrestling.
That's the one part of the rule that I really dislike.
Yeah. At ADCC.
At ADCC.
Yeah.
Right, you can put someone on their knees.
Yeah, you can turn away completely, like, to avoid any points.
And it's not 2 points.
Yeah. That's why I've rarely been scored on at ADCC, because I have pretty good back escapes. And so if I can turtle, most of the time I can escape the back. The one time it didn't happen was or 2 times, Cyborg and Yuri. They both took my back. But every other time in my matches, like Rustam didn't score on me because of that. Because his back attacks aren't. Yeah, you just turn, and so like his back attacks just aren't quite good enough to really secure points there. So
it's not for you. It's not turtle guard. For you, it's like greased pig guard.
I just have this one little trick that I do.
That's your new guard.
This one secret trick where I can just slip out of almost any back.
I know
attack.
what that trick is, and it works really well.
Yeah, I taught it to you.
Even if I know it's still really hard to stop. But that's your guard. That's your new guard, the greased pig guard.
Yeah, I strictly deal in invertebrate guards only.
Invertebrates?
Invertebrates, yeah. Things without spines.
Does a mantis have a vertebrae?
It does not.
No?
It's an invertebrate.
Oh.
Yeah. It's an exoskeleton.
So how do we balance running, weight training, and doing BJJ? It's very simple, my friend. Every day you have to do 2.
Yeah. If you're like being a professional athlete.
If you're being a professional athlete. And when I say every day, I mean Monday through Friday.
Yeah, you definitely need rest days
Definitely don't do anything on Saturday, Sunday. But it's kind of like... you
kind of just mix and match what you want to do that day to keep yourself happy.
Do you remember the triangle diagram from college where someone said, and each point is like, one is social life, one is work, and one is study. And to be successful, you can only pick 2.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of what this is like. There's running, weightlifting, and jiu-jitsu. You have to pick 2. Every day you pick 2.
Like a cardio exercise,
running,
and then a strength exercise.
Right.
Whatever that may be.
Obviously, you can do all 3. It depends on how long you're going to do them. Some days I weightlift for 30 minutes and I run for 30 minutes. Some days I weightlift for 2 hours and I don't run at all. Some days I run for an hour and I don't weightlift at all. But I do BJJ every day at least once, sometimes twice, and sometimes jiu-jitsu twice a day and weightlifting. But obviously, it's difficult to do that every day.
What works for me really well competitively and for my personal life and how I feel is to lift before I train and do that every day. So lift every day, train once every day. So lift and train once every day.
I think lifting before training is phenomenal.
I think it's better than after, just so I can like have energy to actually get through the workout.
100%. Well, you're warmed up. Weightlifting gets your muscles all jacked, and then you show up at training hot.
Yeah, some people think like that might, like the muscle fatigue might cause you to be injured in training.
Being weak-minded.
But I don't think that's true.
No, man. Every time I've weightlifted before training, I dominate training. Because for the first 3 rounds, everyone's still all achy and slow and waking up. And
even if you do like heavy legs and your legs are just jello, I found that you can still do pretty good in jiu-jitsu training afterwards.
I think it's more difficult to train jiu-jitsu the day after leg day when you have the tightness.
Oh, yeah, like the extreme pain.
Extreme tightness. That's difficult. That's a difficult day.
I think lifting first is important. I've even started waking up really early and lifting in the mornings before training. Like at like 7:30 sometimes.
I don't believe. Who are you? This is not the
I've
Keenan
changed,
Cornelius
bro.
that I know.
Well, the thing about my time at Autos, I went through a very hard time there.
I have a different theory.
Emotionally and
I'm going to let you finish
mentally.
what you're saying.
And I think I'm just the type of person who really needs to create his own schedule, and I can't really like adhere to other people's schedules for me to be.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
obviously,
someone
else's schedule is not going to be ideal for you.
Some people really need structure and organization, and they don't want to handle that. But for me, I need to structure and organize myself, and I don't like being at like a place or a time or doing a certain thing that like someone else designed for me.
Do you think it's a good idea to write out your weekly schedule every Sunday and stick to it? Is that a good strategy?
I mean, is the writing it out important, or can you just do it?
If you write it out, if you put it just in your mind, you can change it. If you write it out, it's on paper, and it's easier to stick to it.
You could still change it on paper,
of course, obviously, but you have to like.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it becomes more real. It's a real thing when you write it down. It physically exists. If it's just in your mind, it doesn't physically.
I think that can work for someone who their work is regiment already, and it's like they know they have to go to work every single day at these times, and it's never going to change. But for people like us, for us, making money is not really based on our training time. Like a lot of times, you can't fit to the schedule. Like I have to meet up with you for this podcast when you're ready to do it, and like. We kind of just like agree on a time that works for both of us for that day because we have so much weird stuff going on throughout the week, you know? Like I would have to miss a podcast.
Are you saying that you're catered to my schedule?
I cater to all your needs.
Kind of. You kind of do.
Yeah.
I mean, Wednesday is the best day.
I think my schedule is more flexible than yours, so I can fit to what you do.
My schedule is ultimately flexible because I do whatever I want, whenever I want.
With whoever you want.
With whoever I want.
For however long you want.
For however long I want.
Not really, though. You're just part of the machine, part of the Autos machine.
Do you think running is good, though?
Probably not for your knees, but for the rest of you. Yeah.
Do you advise jiu-jitsu competitors to run?
No, it's just spar more.
More sparring.
Yeah, push harder and spar until you get your lungs tired.
Okay, and so, like for example, yesterday I pushed myself to zombie mode. You know what zombie mode is?
The mode where you thought you were going to quit and then you didn't quit and then you just keep going and then you're like, wait, why is this so easy now? Because you're a zombie.
Zombie mode is like you're just so damn tired that you can't use the muscles in your face anymore, and your face is just kind of melty and you're like, you look like a zombie. You're just so delirious, tired.
I've never lost control of my face muscles. That's probably.
I remember one time I saw JT drooling on himself.
Okay, but have you ever had JT throw up on you in training?
No, did that happen?
Yes.
He threw up on you?
Yeah.
That's just a testament to how hard JT Torres trains. He drools on himself and he vomits on his opponents.
It was because he came back from Christmas vacation and he was out of shape. He had eaten a bunch with his family for like weeks on end, and then he came back to our training and like tried to immediately jump into hard sparring and just like probably like 6 minutes into the first round, he just was like and like threw up all in his hand. I was like, oh, get away! And he like threw up all over the mat as he like ran to the trash can.
Did you remind him that he got DQ'd?
No.
Just let him know you won the training round.
Lost, by the way.
That's a DQ. If you vomit in competition, guys,
I was always scared to talk to JT during training because he'd always get really angry.
He'd tell you to shut up and train.
Like he would say things like he's gonna punch me in my throat or like,
you keep talking, I'm gonna punch you in the throat.
But it's like that person is not who JT. Maybe it is who JT really is, but like it only comes out in like times of extreme duress. But 99% of the time. In all other situations, he's just like cool as a cucumber. But in a training situation, if you're like not training hard enough or like holding back his training, he'll be pissed.
Yeah. If you hold back JT's training, you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be pissed.
He's gonna mess you up.
Andre too. Andre,
and then he's gonna talk down. He's gonna tell you what a piece of shit you are.
Andre gets pretty mad too if you hold back his training.
I remember when JT fought Tanner Rice in American Nationals 2014. And he didn't have a warm up. He just went super hard, and Tanner just played his little Gumby guard, and yeah, he threw up after that too.
Yeah, I got to get going actually.
Are you gonna try to make it?
Well, I forgot that I actually have I'm supposed to film with my friend Joseph up there, and he's meeting me there.
Your friend Joseph?
Joseph who? He's my employee.
Your employee?
He's my filmographer guy, yeah.
Well, if Joseph ever wants to sue you, he should contact Dennis and Rossi.
Great
Dennis and
segue.
Rossi didn't sponsor this podcast, but I just love them because they were.
They didn't. Did they pull out of the podcast?
No, they didn't pull out. We just haven't talked to them since.
Since the previous
since our last contract.
I hope things are going well.
So
for
I just
them.
want to give them a shout out because they were our first official sponsor. Dennis and Rossi, if you want to sue your boss.
But yeah, sorry to cut this one short, guys.
Is it short? What's the time?
It wasn't short. We recorded for a long time.
What are we at?
An hour and 20.
Okay.
So not bad. And we still have to kind of close up still. So
what do you think about Marianas Open?
I had a lot of fun in that tournament, and Guam is just an awesome place. If you're going, it's in Guam.
It's in Guam, yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna go, Guam is a beautiful, beautiful island, and it's very much like Hawaii, but with a little bit more of like Eastern Asian influence. It seems like. I like Guam because they love jiu-jitsu, and I feel like that little island out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Pacific, has contributed so much to jiu-jitsu in the U.S. While they're almost on the other side of the planet. Dude, Frank Camacho and Mike Carbolita are like both responsible for that, I think, because they were like the little island boys that made it to the mainland, and everyone was like, "Dude, they made it! Yeah. Like they freaking made it." Frank made it.
They inspired all the other Chamorros.
And then everyone was like training because like those guys are their heroes, I think.
And then Mike Fowler just went out there and
Fowler too, yeah,
spread all the jiu-jitsu love.
Yeah, and it's a small island, and like jiu-jitsu is just one of those things. If people know about jiu-jitsu, they're gonna train it. Like no one's gonna actually learn about it and be like, "Damn, that sounds really dumb." Like if you actually get into it, everyone's gonna want to train it. So on a small island like that, it just circulates really fast and grows really fast.
So big shout out to the Marianas Open. Thank you for supporting the podcast. So if the listeners could give the Marianas Open a follow on Instagram.
What's the date on it again? August
31st.
Yeah.
And then here in San Diego, the World Series of Jiu-Jitsu cash prize tournament. They have cash prizes for adults, and they're doing scholarships for the youth. So check them out. It's World Series of Jiu-Jitsu on Instagram. They have the flyer. And they're doing like a tour. They have like a San Antonio tournament. They have a Las Vegas tournament. They have San Diego, Las Vegas, San Antonio, and they're spreading. They've been around for a few years. Check them out. World Series of Jiu-Jitsu. I think they're shooting for a $10,000 prize pool if they get enough competitors. So
yeah, awesome. Anyone else?
Yeah, we have Line Tax Service.
I'll read it this time.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't read it. Just speak from the heart, Keenan. For once.
Where's the part you were telling me about? I don't see it in here. Oh, I see.
Are you confused?
This is confusing.
It's so good. So anyway, Sam, I call him Sam the tax guy.
You explain it to me while I read this.
Yeah, so Sam the tax guy is a professional CPA with tons of tax experience. And what Sam wants to do is maximize your bottom line. And if you're like Keenan and you don't know what a bottom line is, the bottom line is the number at the bottom of the sheet that tells you how much money you get. Let me
just tell you a story about why you need this guy. When I first started making money in jiu-jitsu and I had to pay taxes for the first time for the first year, I did not know what I was doing. And so I, like any American boy, asked my mom for help. Big mistake.
Help me.
This was when I was like 21. And boy, did we mess it all up. And I paid so many penalties and fees, like all the money that I had actually saved that would have been my money, my bottom line, I had to pay back in like messed up tax stuff. And because I didn't have an accountant like Sam. Sam's his name?
Sam.
And so if you're in need of an accountant, this is your man. And you can call them at 913-353-4300. They deal with everything, basically tax related.
What's his website?
linetax.net. And you can contact them today for a free initial consultation. So if you just have questions about your taxes or like where you fall into it and what you're going to have to pay and like maybe a little rough estimate, give them a call, take the free consultation, and just like learn a little bit about what they do and what you need to do if you need your taxes done. Because for some people, like, it's not a big deal. Their taxes are taken out by their employers or whatever. It doesn't really, affect them that much. But for a lot of people, you really need professional help because taxes are a very complex system
you need professional help.
I have professional help, and I'm still struggling with I have like a group of accountants that help me, and I still don't fully understand how it all works. I just know that I work for the government.
You're actually an employee of the U.S. government.
That's basically what it seems like, that I just work, and then any money that I make, the government takes from me, and the rest of it I spend on my businesses. So it's like I don't get to keep anything.
But I want to say something real. I really believe Jiu-Jitsu people should support the businesses of other Jiu-Jitsu people.
Well, that's the thing too, is
we are a community.
If you are dealing with someone in a real life business of a service that you need, and you both do Jiu-Jitsu, it's going to make the process so much easier and simple because you guys can actually vibe and
you can connect.
You can connect.
You can trust this person because they do Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu is like the world's biggest fight club. Like, no matter where you go, if you roll up into any Jiu-Jitsu gym and you train and you ask those people for help, they're going to help you just because you do Jiu-Jitsu.
That's a fact. That's the beauty of the sport right there.
Yeah,
you can go anywhere in the world.
The community is insane. There's even a website. It's called like Jiu-Jitsu Couch or something, where you can go on there and book people's couches. So people who have put their
couch surfing for Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. So like people who put their couches on the website. If you're in it, whatever city you're in, you can sleep on their couch because you do Jiu-Jitsu.
That's wonderful.
But I don't know if that's the actual website name, but that does exist. So I think it's something through Globetrotters.
If you love the podcast, please support our sponsors because they make this podcast possible.
And Josh doesn't want to compete or teach anymore, so he's going to just be a podcaster.
That's not true. I do want to compete and teach and podcast forever, for the rest of my life.
What's it going to take for you to teach at my academy?
You have to publicly acknowledge that this is my podcast and you're my co-host and / guest.
That's it?
No, but that's what I want. That's what
you
I want right now.
You didn't think it'd be so easy. I'll get that in writing later.
All you have to do is ask nicely, bro. I'm happy to help.
I just want a good kids program, and I just don't know how to teach kids yet.
All you got to do is this is the easiest part. You just scream at them. It's so easy.
You scream at them?
Teaching kids is so much easier than
teaching
adults.
Screaming is not my forte.
You can yell at the kids, and they don't care. They don't get all upset.
Have you heard me speak before?
It just goes in one ear and out the other.
Have I ever raised my voice over this octave?
That's actually true. I've never heard you yell.
That's one of the things people say about me when I like longer relationships or like long friendships. Eventually, people come to the realization that I have never yelled around them over years and years and years. I've never raised my voice.
Like the other day in training, we had to do 25 push-ups because someone didn't have a partner when the round started. And I literally just screamed at the top of my lungs with the entire class. And I was screaming at Coach Fred. I was like, Fred, who was it? Tell me who it was. I want to know.
I'm in very
he didn't tell me.
Strong control of my emotions.
He didn't tell me because I was going to go fuck that person up next round.
I don't even get really mad. It's weird. Even if I get totally screwed over, I never really get super mad.
What about when you have to do 100 extra burpees because someone wasn't being a good training person?
That's just life, bro.
You're just going to do the 100 burpees?
I just
You're not going to get mad about it at all?
Nope.
Dude, I get mad.
I know you do.
I get mad because I don't appreciate laziness.
You got a short fuse, bro.
I don't have a short fuse, but like, come on.
It's short.
We're in comp class at one of the best academies in the world. I would argue the best, but whatever.
Not anymore because I'm not there.
I would argue the best academy in the world. In one of the hardest training camps of the entire year, and these little blue belts are being lazy and causing me problems, making me do extra push-ups and burpees because they're too lazy to get a partner in time. I don't appreciate that. So I yell.
Yeah. Well,
also, I'm just super hot and sweaty and uncomfortable and probably unhappy. So
that's going to be it for us, guys. I got to pack up the stuff and head
I
up.
would just stay here and talk to you guys for hours, but I guess Keenan's got to go. Shout out to Habrock Sports, best gi company in the world.
We can always just record another podcast in the same week. We don't necessarily have to wait a whole week.
You want to double up?
I don't know. We could.
Get some crazy talk.
Well, Wednesdays are just busy for me.
Hey, can I share a secret?
This is the second time. I mean, it's not going to be a secret because it's on our podcast, but yeah, sure. Share it with us.
I want to tell you because I think it's going to irk you.
Okay. Do you think it's going to make me yell?
The Grappler's Guide actually became a personal sponsor to me as an athlete.
They did that just to get on the podcast.
They did. Jason did it just to spite you. He said, Josh, I'm just going to sponsor you personally. And I said, man, I can't wait to
So, I mean, that's fine.
I can't wait to tell Keenan.
That's totally fine, but I mean, I have to respond accordingly, which would be like, it can be on all the podcasts.
You want to sponsor me with Keenan Online?
No, I'm just going to say.
You guys can have a battle.
I mean, unless he sponsors me, I can't put his stuff on my YouTube channel and stuff. And
whatever you do on your YouTube channels is your business.
Right. So I can like.
I have
business.
nothing to say.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, it's no big deal.
I got nothing to say about your YouTube channel.
No big deal, dude.
Guys, if you need some CBD,
angry.
check out CBD Distillery. If you need Monkey Tape, check out Monkey Tape.
Yeah, and I would like to announce I recently re-signed with Hyperfly for another 2 years.
They got you for 2 more?
Yep. I got them for two more. Now, we have a very mutually beneficial relationship, and that family is super nice, and they really care about their products and their athletes and jiu-jitsu in general, and they're really awesome people, which is why I chose to stay with them. I got a lot of offers for gi sponsorships this year. A lot of really good offers, more than ever before.
What was the best one?
The Hyperfly one was the best one.
That was a trick question.
But even if there was a better offer on the like numbers wise, I probably still would have gone to Hyperfly if it was,
If I know Keenan,
I think if I know
Keenan Cornelius,
if I know anything,
he follows the money.
If I know anything, it's that you don't know me. And if there's the one thing I do know, it's that you never ever know. Jimmy Harbison said that. A legend.
Got to end it on that, man.
Yeah.